Hi everyone, in this session I'm going to explain how to install Python and Visual Studio Code. Why? Because I'm going to use Visual Studio Code IDE, Integrated Development Environment. So if you want to execute Python programs in Visual Studio Code IDE, first you have to install Python software and you have to add appropriate extensions, right? First one, I'm going to install Python. After that, I'm going to install the Visual Studio Code. So let us see the process to download the Python. Open the browser and here you type python.org, python.org, or in the URL you can type the same, right? Now click here. Once you press enter, you will get downloads. Once you click downloads, you will get the related download version for Windows. Directly it is displaying the download version for Windows. Why? Because my laptop is using Windows operating system. So that's why by default it is showing Python version for Windows. If your laptop is Mac, it is going to show download version for Mac. If your laptop is using Linux operating system, it will show download for Linux. So my laptop by default using the Windows operating system. So by default it is showing download for Windows. Now the latest version here is Python 3.13.0. Click here and wait for the .exe file that is to be downloaded. Now click here. Now double click the .exe file. Wait for some time. Now it is displaying the window saying the first option install now and second one is customize installation. Now you properly check the checkboxes. You click here, you check add python.exe to path. You click here, right? Now after this you press customize installation. After pressing customize installation, you will get these options with the trick mouse. Documentation is selected, pip is selected, everything is selected. Okay, don't do anything. Now just click on next, right? After this, what you do is you select the first option, install Python 3.13 for all users. If you want to work the Python on your system with all users, you select this. You select this. After selecting this, automatically it is going to select the install location C program files Python, okay, 3.13. Now what you do is just you press install. Once you say install here, automatically the software will be installed on your system. Already in my system, I have Python software which is already installed, the older version. But what you do is just here click on install, that's all. Once you press install, everything will be installed on your system. And finally, you say here install, right? I have. So what it is going to say is, it is going to say, do you want to allow this app to make changes? Then you press yes. You press yes. So now it is displaying the setup progress. So once it is installed successfully, you will get that setup was successful. You see here. So wait for some time, which is to be installed. Python 3.13.0. This is for 64-bit. It may be for 64-bit or 32-bit. See, I think in my system I have already installed Python. So I may get some problem, installation problem. But we wait for some time. This is taking some time. Wait. Right. So here we are getting setup was successful. This is the way of installing the Python software. After successfully installing the Python, we will get this wizard that setup was successful. Right? Just you close it. This is the way of installing the Python. Now we will see how to install Visual Studio Code. Open the browser. Now here you type code.visualstudiocode.com. Visualstudio.com. Code.visualstudio.com. Now here you will get Code Faster with AI. Here you will get the option download for Windows. You click here. Now we are going to get the exe file that is to be installed. We are waiting for the .exe file to be downloaded. Just wait. See, in my system already Python is there, older version, but I didn't get any problem. Why? Because so newer version I have installed. That's the main problem, right? So I didn't get any kind of problem. Why? Because I have installed the newer version. Previously I have older version. Once .exe file is downloaded, then click here, click the .exe file. Now wait. See, you will get this window, license agreement. After getting this window, what you do? You accept the agreement here. Click here, accept the agreement. I accept the agreement I have selected. Next, you press next. Now you click here, desktop, create desktop icon here. Why? Because on your desktop, you will get the icon for Visual Studio Code. Next, just you press next. And here you can press install here. I already have Visual Studio Code. I may get some problem, but I'm trying to this. Just use a install. We will see whether I will get any problem or not. Just I'm installing it. Maybe some chances, otherwise no problem. Okay, here already is installed. That just you have to say finish. That's all. You have to click finish so that Visual Studio Code will be launched. You can click here, right? So that you can get Visual Studio Code here. Right, without any problem, I have downloaded Visual Studio Code as well as the Python. This is the way of installing the Python. Now we will see some of the important IDEs for Python. We have used Visual Studio Code for installation. Other than Visual Studio Code, we have PyCharm. PyCharm is from JetBrains, right? Next, we have IDLE. IDLE stands for integrated development and learning environment. Next, from Microsoft we have Visual Studio Code. Next we have Atom, Sublime Text, Spider, PyDev, Jupyter, Thorny, and PyScripter. These are the very top 10 IDEs for Python. But the very important thing is, even though you have installed these IDEs, first thing you have to do is you have to install Python. You have to install first Python. After that, you can download any one of the IDEs. I have downloaded Visual Studio Code. I prefer Visual Studio Code. Why? Because it is the best editor. By default, it is going to show the indentation. So that's why I prefer Visual Studio Code. Very important thing I suggest to you is that so better to download the proper editor for flexibility to execute the Python code. You can use anyone, but I prefer Visual Studio Code. You can use PyCharm, right? Now, other than these IDEs, you can also execute the Python code. You can write and execute the Python code online by using browser. by using the concept called Google Colab. You can use Google Colab. Google Colab in the sense collaboratory. Google Collaboratory. It is a cloud-based platform at which you can write and execute the Python programs without installing it. No need of installing it. So any ID is not required. Directly with the help of the browser, you can execute the Python code. This is very easy and flexible to write the code. It is a cloud-based platform. But the thing you have to remember here is to have the Google Colab, you must have the Google account. Just create Google account. Okay. And after sign in, you can go to the Google Colab and you can execute the Python programs very easily. This is the best platform. Now, cloud-based platform, here no need of installing anything. You can easily execute and you can create and you can do anything, whatever you want. All the libraries will be automatically provided to you by the Google. So the only thing you have to have the Google account. That's all. These are the different ways to execute the Python program. So with this, I'm going to close the session. Thank you for watching.